These are all the CDs that I own. Let me take a close gander at all of them so you can see all of them up close. Maybe pause and read the titles if you want. Yeah, I'm going to go through them real quick. As quick as I can, I guess. Here we go. We got some Basement Jaxx. The classic Blink-182 album. Got some Caravan Palace. I need to find more Caravan Palace to own physically because I love pretty much all of their albums. You got that classic Brat. It's not classic, it came out like a year ago, but it's gonna be a classic. Got Chvrches. Chvrches is really good. Chvrches with a V. Especially those first two albums that they brought out. They're really good. That's Coldplay next to Chvrches there. Then we got some Daft Punk. My favorite Daft Punk album is Discovery. That is a no-skip album for me. It's really rare for me to have no-skip albums, but that is definitely one of them. So if you've never listened to the entirety of Daft Punk's Discovery, I recommend it. And we got Death Cab for Cutie and The Faint. A lot of the CDs I have are from my mom, so those two are at the start of it. And then we have Fall Out Boy. I'm not a massive Fall Out Boy fan, but recently I've started to get more into them. The classic Fleetwood Mac Rumors album on CD. Green Day, American Idiot. I love that album. It's crazy how long it took me to get into that record, but basically every Gorillaz album, every really super important one. So you got the debut, you got Demon Days. That's a singles album right there. And squished in between is Plastic Beach. I really don't like CDs that come in like a paper thing. It's really hard to get the spine out because it's constantly being flattened, but that's Plastic Beach, I promise you. Then Humans. I actually really like Humans. A lot of Gorillaz fans did not like Humans, but I think it's really good. I see why people don't like it because it's really different sounding from all of their other work, but I think that's just how Gorillaz are. They change their sound all the time. But then I say that, but then I think the Now Now and Song Machine, Gorillaz Song Machine, kind of went back to how they sounded in Plastic Beach. So also got Cracker Island there. Kanye West Graduation. This was before he went insane, when he was just a fucking guy. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know everything about Kanye West, but that's probably the only Kanye West album I'm ever going to own is Graduation. We got Lily Allen. Lily Allen is really good. We have Madonna and Maroon 5. That's Songs About Jane by Maroon 5. That's a Nirvana hits album. It's a album that pretty much compiles all of their best work. But it's Pearl Jam. Classic Pearl Jam. Then we got Pink Panthers. I always say I don't really stan any music artist. I'm not like a guy who stans anybody, but Pink Panthers is probably the closest person that I'll say that I stan. But yeah, unfortunately, the new recent trend of not putting your work in jewel cases and putting it in shitty cardboard sleeves. So you got her first mixtape, To Hell With It, and then you got her studio album, Heaven Knows. I forgot the name of it for 2 seconds. And then her latest release, which is also a mixtape, Fancy That just came out a few months ago. All good work if you've ever listened to Pink Panthers. Definitely check her out. Then we got Post Malone, the only Post Malone album that I have, 12 Karat Toothache. I thought the cover was really cool. I liked how you could still see the CD inside of it. So yeah, there you go. There's the cover of 12 Karat Toothache. Obviously there's a lot of good tracks on that. I'm actually a pretty big Post Malone fan. Alright, thanks for interrupting me. Can you not yell so loud? Jesus Christ. Alright, bye. Anyway, back to that. Let's go back to. But yeah, I was at Post Malone. Postal Service, Give Up. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. I love every song on that album. That's another no skip. So, the Postal Service, Give Up. I know it's by this with the same singer as Death Cab for Cutie. So check Give Up out, definitely. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication, and the greatest hits for Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm a huge RHCP fan. I really need more CDs by those guys. I love songs from every album of theirs. Got some Rob Zombie, got some Soul Coughing, Stone Temple Pilots, Sublime, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Fever to Tell, classic album I think more people should get into. And then here we get into one of my other favorite types of CDs to collect, which is movie soundtracks. I really love buying movie soundtracks. This first one here is from the movie Clerks, which is another one of my favorite movies. Then we got some weird ones, like the one for Curious George, that 2D animated Curious George movie that was actually really good. Then again, Encanto. These aren't by order of release or alphabetized. I don't know if you've noticed that as I've gone on. At least for the most part, maybe there's some mistakes in there, but yeah. Then we got Flushed Away, which is one of my favorite childhood movies, along with Over the Hedge. Both very good soundtracks, like shockingly good, especially Over the Hedge. Like holy shit! If you've never listened to the Over the Hedge soundtrack, you are fucking missing out. Oh my god. It's like legit, like a really good soundtrack, like really good. You have Rio, which is another really good soundtrack. A lot of good songs on that. This Sonic album right here is like the orchestral score for the original Sonic movie. We got both Space Jam soundtracks. We got the first Space Jam soundtrack on CD, and then the second Space Jam, which I think both. Obviously, the first one is better, but the second one's still really good. I still like the second movie's soundtrack, so I'm glad I found that physically. The story for the first one, actually, the first CD, I actually got it for free because the pawn shop didn't really want to didn't want to charge my card. That was the only thing I really wanted from that pawn shop, so they were like, just take it if that's all you want. So I got that for free. So the original Spider-Verse movie soundtrack, the first one. This is actually the Target exclusive version with a Spider-Noir on the cover. Normally it'd be Miles, but this one has Spider-Noir. And got Turning Red. Turning Red was actually another shocking, like, really good soundtrack. I shouldn't say shocking, but just, like, not the kind of, like, soundtrack that I would buy, but I found it, and I was like, yeah, Turning Red is really good. The movie's really good, and so is the soundtrack, so I got the soundtrack. And then this next CD is called Now That's What I Call Shrek, which just has a lot of classic Shrek songs on there. We have this weird CD called Target Music Sampler. I don't know like what this deal is. There's a bunch of random songs on it. It's like supposed to like help you like clean. This is made in like 2003 or something like that, I think. But yeah, it's like a cleaning, put on while you're vacuuming or ironing or doing laundry or that kind of thing. Back in like 2003, you could just put that on and be like that's like a physical Spotify playlist curated by Target of all things. Yeah. There's another weird compilation album called Music to Install Windows 98 by. Very, very good, very random thing. A friend actually gave this to me, that they said they found it in a thrift store. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I would buy that in a thrift store as well if I found it. Like, are you kidding me? This next one, you can't see the spine, but it's Robot Brainstornaut Blast Off Turbo. It's a really good gabber dance, electronic, rave album, if you like that kind of stuff. Fentanyl. Fentanyl is a recent, pop-up with, like, gabber and dance and hardcore, speedcore, or whatever. Like, noise. I've definitely gotten into her music. And that's, like, one of her first albums that she's dropped, and I didn't know that it came out physical, so I got a physical copy of that. This next one is actually a curated soundtrack that I imported from Japan. for the Yuri manga. The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. There's a lot of really good songs on that CD, and a lot of it caught me off guard. Like there's Red Hot Chili Peppers, there's all kinds of those guys. So you can like pause and take a good look at like that track list. You got Beck on there. You got Beck. Is that like Alice in Chains? Aerosmith. Not Alice in Chains. Collective Soul, Weezer. Yeah. So just all kinds of really cool tracks on there. I got the Friday Night Funkin' soundtrack. This is like the first part, I think, for the first, because they've released me more music since then. But it's cool to have that physically. And actually, this is off topic, but I also have the cassette. This is the only cassette that I own of the Friday Night Funkin' soundtrack. It's really cool having that on cassette as well. I got it because I got that specific cassette because I had my mom's old cassette player and I wanted to play it on it, so I bought that too. Now these three are all Splatoon related soundtracks. This is last group here. This is the soundtrack for the first game. This is the Callie and Murray live concert CD with their performances of the first round of Splatoon live concerts. This one is the Octo expansion soundtrack. It also comes with a Blu-ray of their second line of concerts with Pearl and Marina and Callie and Murray. And this, I also don't have the Pearl and Marina live soundtrack or the Splatoon 2 soundtrack, but I do have the Splatoon 3 soundtrack that I specially imported because I love the music in Splatoon 3. A little more than the music in Splatoon 2, I'll be honest. So I had to import that for sure. So yeah, that's all my CDs. Really cool, weird little collection that I have, and I'd love to get more. So this will probably be outdated in like a couple months, who knows. But yeah,